I'm Sydney. And I'm Talia. Pull up a chair. You're listening to The Desk.
So yeah, continue talking to us, JC. What's up? Why just now?
Okay. What you want me to talk about my experience? What is it like from going to university straight into the heart of multilateralism?
Yeah, so this is a little
Okay.
catch up. How
Okay.
you doing? We miss you.
I miss you too,
How's the cold
guys.
treating you? How's the cold treating you?
It's actually horrendous. We are in the first day of spring today officially, and
Oh,
it's been quite cold. I would say between 10 to 8 degrees, but it is dry. It's not humid as London.
mm-hmm.
So you can really feel it in your fingers, like the tip of your fingers, the drying
Does
of
it
the
snow there?
lips. Yeah, all over the place. All around Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
Geneva is surrounded by mountains, and inside of, on top of all those mountains, it's snowing. And it was really, really pretty in the morning.
Well, it's
But
nice.
yeah, is it raining
Did
in
you go
London?
skiing? No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
But
it's
no, I don't go skiing. I had the opportunity to, but it just I didn't commit, and it left. And I might
mm.
go probably. There's snow until April, so you can still. Yes, yes, there are
But it's
places where you
spring.
can.
It's
Yeah,
spring in the
there
valleys and the mountains. Okay.
exactly. And
Gotcha.
someone study. Ooh. But yeah, going back to my experience. So I studied diplomacy and global politics at the University of Westminster, graduated last year in the summer, and started my internship 1 month before graduation.
Wow.
And it was just a mind-blowing experience. Going from everything that I studied for the past 5 years to just doing it and be at the heart of multilateralism within 8 days, it's really just mind-blowing. And just to put in context, my organization, the International Organization on Migration, it's a UN agency, which is part of the entire UN system of more than 20 agencies, focus on a framework. And the framework that the IOM operates in is migration. And to put it in perspective, refugees, migrants, and labor, so workers, are not technically the same people. You could be the same person, but a different legal framework. For instance, a refugee will flee his country or a fighting zone into another country to seek refuge, whereas a migrant will just move either for education purposes, job related, or even health related issues. Whereas a worker who moves solely for work. So within the UN system, each type of human mobility has a framework. And those frameworks are dedicated throughout agencies or secretariats. Now this is where it gets a little bit more complex, because IOM, he's the coordinator of the UN network on Migration Secretariats, which is where I'm doing my internship. Now, what is the UN network on Migration Secretariats? As it says, it's a secretariat of a network of all agencies that are touching to the subject of migrants. Of course, they operate in different legal framework, but as everything, they just sometimes go above one another. So, for instance, WHO, which is a health organization, will look at the migrants' problem. For instance, in a camp, it could be UNESCO, looking at how education can be improved from a country to another one. And based on that, they coordinate with one another, and they coordinate through the United Nations Network of Migration Secretariats. Now, the other aspect of the network of migration, so I'm going to call it UNMM from now on, so saying the entire name. So UNMM is in charge of doing the follow-up and review of the Global Compact on Migration. Something that not a lot of people have probably heard of, because it's not as famous as the compacts, as the Conference of the Parties, which is a compact on climate. Everyone probably knows about the COP 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, where all member states come and decide to follow up on and make a progress declaration on what are the next 10 years regarding climates, what are the objectives for the next 30 years. And it's the same thing for migration now. Since 2018, when the compact was established in Morocco, the network through IOM, because it's still a migration agency, so IOM is the coordinator of it. Now the network is just like the middleman between agencies, member states, and stakeholders. And by stakeholders, I'm talking about civil society throughout the world. And it's part of the Global Compact on Migration that we call the GCM, to have a 360 view. Just like the Compact on Climate, where you will see indigenous take the lead, or even have their speech in front of member states, which is within the UN system, not often because it's solely member states. So through compacts, different layers of society can be involved in a process of a bigger vision of what migration should look like for all. Now, it is a non-binding legal framework, which means it's not forced upon member states and they can leave whenever they want. For instance, it was first accepted on the Trump one, then Biden came, they accepted, then he came back again and he rejected it. So that just shows how the UN is not really forcing itself, but really just serve as a framework to make things evolve better for all. And through the compacts, as migration is quite a hot topic, there are two different things that the Secretariat has to do in order to follow up on and implement the compact. First, it has to organize every 2 years the regional framework. Now, the regional framework is a follow-up on how the implementation has been going for the past 2 years. And every 4 years, there's an International Migration Review Forum, which happens in New York at the headquarters. And during those 4-year periods, which is longer than the Conference of the Party on Climate, which is every year, during those 4-year periods, member states have not the ability, it's the opportunity to express what is the winds of migration. Where are we going for more of a nationalization of migration policies? Should we coordinate better? Should we share more data with each other? Should we make task force to prevent migrants to take the sea? Should we coordinate our local authorities and forces to save even migrants, which is quite a sensitive topic? And Yeah, they are all part of the Global Compact on Migration. And something quite important, there's 23 objectives. Now, I haven't learned the 23 objectives because there are 23 of them, but they're all within those 23 objectives. They are clustered in 4 different roundtables. Now, I haven't learned the roundtables, but they're really good. And they really aim to advance migration and advocate for a better way to guarantee orderly, safe, and regular migration for all. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to lately. And if you guys have
Busy
any
boy.
question, not at all. Actually,
No, we
yes.
gotta wait, we
No.
gotta have a little round of applause. Inside round of applause.
You be doing this. That was
Yeah.
like you read that off the website. I said, "Uh-oh." Sounded just like my dad.
No. And actually, and I even forgot to bring it back to the SDG objectives. So in the SDG objective, for 2030, if I'm not wrong, the advocacy of migrant rights is mentioned, and all that falls into what the GCM is covering. So that's how you can really relate the both of them. And sorry, I didn't look at it SDGs objective because that's not my thing.
No, it's okay, honey. You're okay.
You in the UN, you don't know the SDGs?
Oh, sorry.
No. I
It's
do.
okay, big guy. You got this.
I do know.
Slacker.
I do know the SDGs, but I'm just not as familiar with them as what I'm
Yeah.
No,
covering.
it's okay. I'm just teasing you.
Are you?
We definitely did not introduce.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast. This is The Desk. I'm Sydney.
I'm Talia.
And today, the man that you've just been listening to for the last couple of minutes here is one of our good friends. He ditched us in London to go, take over the world and make it a better place
That's
in
not what Bessie
Geneva,
said.
Switzerland. He's pretty cool. He be sharply dressed. Listen, he puts that on.
Mm.
You guys can't see it, but just visualize the flyest person you know and double it. And then he's also a low-key videographer, photographer. He just doesn't like to flex it, so I'm gonna flex it for
He's a
him.
gatekeeper.
He
I
is a
appreciate
gatekeeper.
it.
He's got footage he still hasn't shared with me. Right.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
today we're welcoming on Jean-Charles, aka JC. How do you feel about being on our pod? You're our second guest ever.
Oh, second. Wow. It feels weird to be the first to last.
He's
I
also
don't know.
very confident, if you couldn't hear. First and last. Got it.
I don't know how to feel, but no, it's truly an honor, and yeah, I'm really looking forward for the conversation that we're going to have, since we haven't spoken since June last year, which is almost a year ago.
It's okay. We'll cry about it in our beds later. But
You know, I was actually about to come to IQ to say hi one day.
and what stopped you?
This.
Just the job. That seems like a small
Yeah.
thing. You should have told them I have important business.
No. I tried to go to London 3 times in a row for the past 3 months.
It's okay. We'll see you soon.
And yeah, it just didn't work.
It's
But yeah,
okay. So,
definitely
let's just-
April, May, and June you'll see me.
Bet.
No, not May.
Are you going Fête de la
April,
Musique?
Hmm?
Are you going Fête de la Musique?
Fête de la Musique in Paris?
Yeah.
Yes. Oui.
If it's early May, I'll probably be in New York.
Let's find
But
out, shall we?
if it's like
No,
mid-May,
It's in
Mid-May.
late June.
It's June 21st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it, actually.
Is this
I
a
could do
link up?
it.
See you in
Yeah.
Paris.
Okay.
I'm practicing my French. So when you show up in Paris, je parle français.
Un peu.
That's good. That's good. I also speak French.
Okay. JC, welcome. You are now in the hot chair at the desk. So we've got a couple of questions for you just to gain some insight into your wonderful work that you've summarized for us so greatly. Let's kick it off with the first question. What made you want to work or join the UN?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I personally, why did I say personally? Personally, I didn't even know that I wanted to join. I really went from a mindset of take all you can from when I just decided to commit it into taking advantage of all the opportunities that my master program offered me. And it just happened that my university has a partnership with several UN agencies. And it's not that it's giving to students just when they want. We were, I think, 30 or 50 applying for the same different positions that were given. And some of them were terminated in the process because of the funding crisis with the US retracting itself from a lot of UN agencies, uh, financially retracting themselves. And it just happened to be, I wouldn't say that, oh, since I was young, I spoke it into existence, but I just had a strong desire of just going after the things that I wanted. And yeah, that's how I landed here. And I always said it, this is actually a side quest. I didn't, that was never my thing. Like in the morning, I have to get in. I guess when you have the skills, the confidence, the ability to speak all the main UN languages, at least 3 of them, which is in my case French, Spanish, and English, which are the one that are covering the most part of the world. You somehow made it through, I would say. And I remember 2 weeks ago, last month, I had a call with some children in Shanghai to talk about my experience. And someone asked me the same question. When you were kids, were you actually dreaming about doing that? No, she said, when you were young, were you actually dreaming about doing that? And I felt offended because I was like, yo, I'm only 26. What? What do you mean when I was young? No, what do you mean when I was young? I might look like I'm 30, but what do you mean when I was young? I'm 26. I'm literally the kid in this place. And yeah, I really just wanted to pursue the things that were in front of me to the best of my ability with all of my confidence and disillusion. And somehow it just happened.
So, question, yeah. If this is just a side quest, what is the end goal? Or not necessarily the end goal because the goalpost is always moving, right? So, what is the next step? Or if you weren't at the UN, what would you have been doing?
I always wanted to work for an international organization related to Africa's development. And there's a good one called the African Bank of Development, which has their headquarters in Abidjan in Ivory Coast. And I remembered my first week of induction, I meet my senior lecturer and I tell him, yo, I would like to do an internship at the African Bank of Development, but they're required to have masters and all those kind of things. So that's why I pursue a master in diplomacy. It was either that or international development. But I really wanted to have that diplomacy etiquettes, so I could, even when I go home or decide to go in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I actually have the blueprint and the knowledge of how things work. And I remember how he smiled at me, and at first I thought, is he creepy, or did I say something wrong? And he smiled at me because he was more excited for me than myself for what was coming from me. And he told me that is very strange because it turns out that I've one of my alumni worked for the African Bank of Development, and now she's working for the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development here in London. And of course, I will introduce you to her. And yeah. But yeah, I remember he said, but you have to make the most out of it. And I didn't. I lost her. So she came to university, she briefed us, everything went really well, but I lost her contact for some reason. My phone didn't save her email address and her phone number. So
Mr. Hot Stepper,
I
what's
reach
happening?
out.
That's not networking.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was not really smart of me. And then I reached out to my senior lecturer again, and I was like, yo, I lost her contact. Could you please give it to me? We are about to organize an event on the political economy, the state of political economy in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, and would like her to be our guest of honor. And because of this station and so much going on in my life, I started exchanging with her so she could come and have that talk at university with our student society, the African Affairs think tank. But it didn't went through. I just forgot, and it was bad, and emails were not, the conversation wasn't holding, so it fell through. And I was like, you know what, if I have to go from ground zero, no worries. It's okay. And how this internship came to be a side quest, because it was never my plan to go and start working for a migration agency, because I don't have any knowledge. I didn't have any knowledge regarding migration prior to that. And I was like, okay, I will take it. I applied for it, got accepted, and yeah, now here in 9 months. In 10 days it's gonna be 9 months, and I will be a full staff at the end of that internship, which is kind of crazy somehow. But yeah, that is
I
how
genuinely
this
remember the
became
day that
a
you
side
got
quest.
it. You came downstairs and you had like the email on your
Mhm.
phone and you were like, "Can I get
Yeah.
this printed out?" And I was like, "Where are you going?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to Switzerland. I got a job at the UN." I said, "I'm sorry." And now this is your
Yeah.
side quest that's turned into your like main quest. Oh, period.
No,
Kudos to
look,
you.
it's true, true,
Multi-tour.
true. No, yeah, it's still a
Uh,
side quest because I would love to work within Africa's development. Here, it's really on surface level, just trying to
yeah.
get all member states to agree on something that are not forcible to be agreed on.
Yeah.
And you don't feel the change from here. And this is something a lot of my seniors, colleagues, even my head of office always told me. If you work in an agency, you get your credibility from outside of headquarters. We call it the field. So if you do your internship or even if you start working in Mexico, El Salvador, Gaza, Lebanon, this is where you get the most credibility from because they are hotspots. Like you could use your life while trying to save and secure the rights of migrants. And yeah, that's how we became all this.
Okay. So take us through like a normal day, or if you can, take us through today. We see that you're still in the office.
Yeah.
So just what does a normal day look like for JC at the UN?
First, I have to admit one thing. I'm not an early bird. And I think that that's a problem for me. But I'm an overachiever. I discovered that really recently. Is that I'm willing to stay extra hours to make it perfect. Or actually to make all the tasks that were assigned to me. But I will be coming there to the office. For my 9 months internship, I would say I came on time and early. Probably 3 times. Good
3?
question.
JC,
Yeah.
are you trying to keep that job?
You're funny. 3?
I'm telling you, that is. It starts first I got misled because I thought work started at 9:30. Turns out it started at 9. So I keep showing up at 9:30 thinking I was on time. Turns out I was always late. So I was like, yeah, it's actually a 9 to 5, not a 9:30 to 5. So
Where has
I've
it
always
ever been
been
called
late.
9:30 to 5? That's you
Yo,
were suddenly like, oh, this 30 minutes? This one is sleep. Really?
I was like, oh, okay. And oh yeah, I also have to bring you to my job interview. So out of the 5 positions that I applied, I didn't get any of them. And no, out of the 5, I had one interview. It was for the French translation unit, and the interview was going well. But because one of the requirements was to speak Spanish, and I do speak Spanish, but it's a broken Spanish, my dumbass decided to flex my broken Spanish in front of the audience. So you can see there's 4 people on the screen, and I could feel that I lost their attention straight from the get-go because I was like, oh, y el trabajo en español, ¿cuál es las horas que necesito para lo hacer? Which is really nice. But this is not what you said when the whole interview was in French.
Right.
From the beginning.
Right.
So you did have to flex it. And they told me that they will come back to me. It's been now 9 months and 3 weeks, and then they never came back to me. And I was like, I remember that I texted my mom and was like, I think I actually fucked up. I don't think I'm going to get that internship in Geneva anymore. And I was willing to apply either Addis Ababa, the African Union, or even in Ivory Coast. And especially, I was like, okay, just wait until I come back to you by the end of the week. Okay, it was on a Tuesday. The weekend passed. I even have nightmares about it. And we are next Tuesday. I get an email. Oh, handsome, are you okay? They didn't say handsome, but imagine that they say handsome. Okay, stay with me now. But yo, handsome, are you available for an interview on Thursday? Or what do you mean? I didn't apply for this internship. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my research and I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna answer the next day. Yeah. As I was typing the email the next day after doing my research, I get a call from Switzerland and is the coordinator of the internship program at IOM, which is a really good friend of mine now. And he was like, yo, down for an interview on Thursday at 9 a.m.? And I was like, okay. I already learned from my mistake with the first interview, so I know what are do's and don'ts. And also, that was my first ever real job interview. And this led me to get my first internship ever, and to also get my first job ever, which is a crazy side quest, ultimately. And yeah, that's how I got the job. And yes, the day-to-day, it's actually quite insane. So when I get to the office, I just respond to emails that we get from member state or other divisions who are interested into working with the secretariats. Then I meet with colleagues to work on pledges, which are promises that they make to implement the GCM. And then on top of that, then at 12, we have lunch at another UN organization called the International Labour Organization, which is one of the best headquarters I've ever seen. And sometimes we actually, because I cannot show you the opposite of the camera, but so you have Médecins Sans Frontières, which is Doctor Without Borders, their headquarters down the roads. Then you have the International Labour Organization just right here. Then you have the World Health Organization on this side, and you have UNAIDS behind us. And further down, you have now the UN Office of Geneva, which is the headquarters of the UN, where all the permanent mission embassies are based and they work there. You have the Human Rights Council. Like, it's a really nice neighborhood to network, eat, great food spots, and yeah, just to walk around, because the gardens are really designed to not give you that sense that you are at work on a daily basis. But yeah, and that's day to day.
Period. It sounds nice. I mean, I always thought that New York was like the main hub, but obviously,
Yeah.
while we host a lot of meetings in New York, it's nice to know that like Geneva has a pretty large chunk of the stuff that you guys are doing as well. What surprised you the most about actually being there? Obviously, you talked about the surprise of actually getting the interview and the job, but having the networking opportunities and like all
Yeah,
the fun of working there. What's the most surprising bit?
I would say, like you just said, the networking is insane. I have a friend that I met. Actually, she became a friend about 2 weeks ago now. And she works for the World Economic Forum that happens every year at Davos in Switzerland.
Yeah.
She's about to work for the World Economic Forum. Before that, she's currently working at UNITAR, which is an agency in charge of providing training for member states, international organization, and civil society. So the training will be on how to implement policies for XYZ, how to write proper reports that could be submitted to the Geneva offices of UNOG. And she told me that she stayed in Switzerland for more than 7 years. So she came to do her master's. But meanwhile, she's just been going from internship to internship through her LinkedIn connections first.
Oh, wow.
But also she will have the audacity to ask people, yo, I'm interested in what your organization is doing. Would you mind to go grab a coffee? And that's how she networked herself. And it was mind-blowing. What she said was that for the position that she's about to get at the World Economic Forum, she applied 6 times for the same position. So her name was known by HR. She asked 20 people from the same organization to go coffee with her. Everyone said no, except one person.
Yeah.
Turns out that one person was the key to put her in connection with now her future head of department that accepted her for another internship, which is paid above minimum wage. And here in Geneva, because Switzerland, it's a federation called a federation of cantons. And in this canton, the minimum wage is around £5,000, which is quite insane compared to the UK. And as a UN worker, international staff, you do not pay for taxes.
Yeah.
So it's bonus over bonuses over bonuses for, because she had the audacity to work, to network that well. So yeah, I would say the networking is just horrendous, stupendous, and it will be and of course I did my bit of networking, but because I don't see myself evolving and staying long term here, that's why I didn't really went the extra miles to invite people out for coffee and those kind of things, but just to get a network decent enough, I would say, to stay in touch with the things that passionates me now, which are migrants.
This podcast is brought to you by Kelomolo, where culture and class meet couture.
And in terms of who you're networking with, within these organizations, is it fairly diverse? Like, do you feel comfortable, even just going into it? And versus now, 9 months in, there's a certain level of probably comfort that you have. But when you first walked in, did you have any feeling of like imposter syndrome or do I belong
Yeah.
here? That kind of thing.
I actually, even now, even until today, I still have imposter syndrome, because when you start to get to know ambassadors, delegates, so delegates will be, for instance, for chaque, I said it in French. For instance, for each agencies, there's one delegate that cover that agency. So, for instance, there's a delegate at a certain embassy which covers both migration, labor, and refugees issues, because it's human mobility. So you actually need one focal point to talk with all those agencies and coordinate. And I met one of them. That was my first week at work. We had a general annual meeting of stakeholders and member states. And it was a delegate from the Embassy of Morocco. And we were talking and everything. And it was so nice to me, because he really likes Congolese culture and really wanted, everyone speak English here, let's just speak French. It was true. A lot of within the UN, everyone speaking English. But now when you're in Geneva, everyone speaks French. That's literally the thing here. And we were talking about, where you from, and now what studies did you do? And I was like, did my studies at Westminster, just had my master in diplomacy. And for me, I thought I was the shit. I was like, wow, you're talking to a big guy. And the guy was like, oh, no. I did my PhD in Oxford, and I just finished it like 3 years ago. And it was on Congo's, I think, what did you say? It was on the Congolese, no, his dissertation his letter of motivation to get in Oxford was about Congo. So that's how we bonded. But it's so astonishing the amount of people that went to A-levels universities, could be LSE, Oxford, Paris Sorbonne, and you just have that random intern that went to Westminster, sitting at a desk doing the same, often better job than colleagues, and you just like, you feel like, okay, is it all that, or did I miss something? Because I truly believe it's also probably comes from a lack of confidence that I had when I was younger, but I truly believe that I have zero skills, that I'm not that smart, that I'm not that knowledgeable. But turns out here, well, your boy been hooping left and right, and it actually really works.
JC,
So
why
yeah,
are you trying to bring yourself down?
up.
Why are you minimizing yourself?
It's not minimizing. I would say it's doing the most to not be aware that you're actually good, and that keeps you good. So that's how I see it. But yeah, do minimize
Being
myself.
humble, being proud of
Yeah, I'm
yourself,
trying.
knowing that you
But
can do it, but being humble and in front
yeah,
of those above you.
yeah. But imposter syndrome was, I mean, it's still real. But the first 3 months, I remember I was sweating when I was talking to my head of office, because I was like, yo, the guy was there when they implemented the compact. He was there when they look at the legal framework, when they look at the objective, the roundtables, which agency to coordinate with, and those kind of things, which is like extremely technical. And I was like, wow, damn, that is mind blowing.
I think that all the work that you've done so far, and I know that you're a man of God, I think all the work that you've done so far has definitely led you here. And if anything, like when I hear your story and even the story of your friend now, it just reminds me of the fact that you just have to stay ready, you know? And you
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to be where you are now if you hadn't taken the steps to be ready. Even when you were here, you were always trying to anybody and everybody who had ears. Everybody knew who
No.
JC was. So it doesn't shock me that you're here, and it doesn't shock me that you have
Yeah.
bigger dreams than just here. Like, this is the platform I think you worked for and you very much deserve. And to see you thriving is very fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That just reminded me of a quote by Dave Chappelle that said that the biggest dream in the room always win. Like, if you dream big enough, currently I'm in someone's dream. Someone dreamt about creating a platform where you could get member states, stakeholders, civil society all together and make migration work for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm in someone's dream right now. And turns out that my dream would just fit into that dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that for you, JC. But can I ask you,
Yeah.
has working for like the UN made you more hopeful or more critical in like how the world is changing and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah. I would say 50-50. Probably no, even 60% pessimistic and 40% optimistic. Because as it is an agency that depends on member states and to some extent private sector funding, you'll find that agencies cannot operate without the funding of certain countries, and that will impact them directly, their staff, their projects, and the people that they aim to serve. So during the summer, IOM had to bring a report on their staff. Turns out, since the return of the current US administration, IOM laid out 3,000 people worldwide. Compared to WHO, who laid out 700, you can see the huge difference of how 74 million people's votes can impact lives of millions. Therefore, it is very unfair for a body as huge as the UN that truly has to depend on member states, but to be so underfinanced that it paralyzes whole segments of the world's developments for the past 20 years. It's not something optimistic. Yeah, it's not something optimistic to look at.
Yeah.
Because if this happened with someone who's still listening to, even if it's at 20% to his opposition, just to make sure that he doesn't lose certain section of his electorate. Now imagine of someone that doesn't care at all about global issues, about how migrants can have a beneficial role to the economy. They only care about a certain narrative. Then it really becomes a problem to look at things positively. So yeah, I became more pessimistic a little bit, but positive because it means that there's also a void that could be filled by those who are willing to take the leadership.
Exactly.
So one country that really wants to take that leadership, it's Morocco. In Africa, you will find Morocco in every agency, in every meeting, trying to make the most out of every organization to push that African agenda. And not only Morocco, but Kenya, surprisingly. Kenya.
Surprising to who?
Okay. Kenya.
You were surprised by our excellence.
No. True. Kenya will, it's because I've been here, but it's also a quiet diplomacy compared to the Morocco one that's a bit more flashy where, okay, they will have a red carpet over you. Oh, you will just see that there's a Kenyan in every meetings, in every committee, and you'll be like, yeah, they are there. They don't speak. They don't. When I say they don't speak, it's just like they don't show that they speak. They do speak. They do take leadership position, even here regarding migration. But it's just a quiet diplomacy. There's no need to talk too much. Literally, that's how I see that. There's no need to talk too much. Really have to give the heads up to flowers, to Kenya. You're doing really well. Yeah.
I agree.
So more space for Africa within UN agencies.
Yeah.
Africa to the world. To the world.
To the absolute world.
How has the current conflict, for example, obviously with Iran, but even you spoke about Gaza earlier and how even the work that you're doing now puts you in danger, but obviously that's kind of part and parcel with the task. But how would you say that has one impacted how you do your work over the 9 months? Like, I think going into it, you probably had a conception of it. What are like the misconceptions that you've kind of broken off? What are the things that or maybe the number one thing that you've learned? And what's maybe the thing that's been forced out of you? Like what's something you had to change? I know you spoke about obviously kind of the humbling of everybody around you, but skill-wise, what has this brought out of you, especially as you look to take this as a platform into new places?
Damn, those are two great questions. The impact of external crisis, not external, of regional crisis into our work has been quite important because I'm at a secretariat. So we are delegating work from agencies, member states, and stakeholders into implementing, reviewing, and reporting the compacts, right? So we are not directly impacted, but in terms of engagement, which is really the core, this is literally what we live on. For instance, last year, there was a crisis in Nepal. The prime minister got overturned. They burned the house of the president and his wife. And
Yeah. Remember that.
now Nepal's engagements with us is close to zero. There's no nonverbals. There's no desire to be present in the upcoming International Migration Review Forum. At the moment, she could come, but yeah, it's just like impacts somehow. But I will just come up with a story from one of my friends who was doing her internship in Burundi while the crisis in Eastern DRC was happening. So the rebels, when they signed the Washington Accords between Rwanda, Congo, and Burundi, Rwanda, Congo, and DRC, sorry, the next day they decided to go down to the city below, next to Burundi called Uvira, and that forced the displacement of 100,000 people into Burundi. So she found herself as an intern because IOM had to come and help those 100,000 displaced people, not only IOM, but UNHCR and other agencies like WHO, to look over those refugees, because they are refugees, but they migrated. So you see how those two legal frameworks overlap. And she said she had the most traumatic experience of her life. She saw children of 3 years old running. She saw a mom with 2 children on her hands, tired but still had her luggage above her head. And she said I didn't thought that I would have seen this side of the world. Like she was in disbelief when she saw that.
Yeah.
And I felt quite lucky to do my internship here at the headquarters, but it's a side of the UN that few know about, which is what is it like to be in the middle of a crisis zone. And yeah, and she decided to, when her internship ended, because she really wanted to do it until the end, she decided to go back to London, and now she's looking for a job in finance because she doesn't want to be in those kind of situations. She said her heart died when she saw 3 kids that were almost next to the, how would I say, the the gates of death in the hospital. And yeah, she just couldn't. She wanted it. She said that she wanted to take the children with her and go and leave, but
Yeah, I
of
can
course
imagine.
she couldn't. But yeah, that's to answer the first question, to be in a crisis. Now the second question about the skills, like I told you earlier, I always believed that I had 0 skills. Now within that 9-month period, I actually have quite a lot of skills. Could be policy briefing, graphic design, data analyst,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, those are the 3 major skills that I acquired as a intern that are now on my consultancy, and that I'm proud of have had the opportunity to acquire, because, and that's perks all to my supervisors, because they put me in front of so many things that I could not handle, but now I actually handle all those things quite easily. At the beginning, it was really stressful, extremely stressful. But yeah, after being accommodated to it, you kind of
Good.
You're so
get
cool,
it.
Jason.
No, I'm not.
You are, believe
You
me.
don't like compliments? It's okay. We won't compliment you anymore. You're horrible.
You're funny.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, we've got time for one more question. What would you say to someone who's trying to get into an international organization, who wants to make a change, who wants to do diplomatic work? How would you encourage them? What tips could you offer them that you were looking for when you were just starting?
Yeah. I would say, if you don't mind, if you just want the experience, if you just don't mind going through all the hurdles and suffering, not suffering, but you know how to get from point A to point B, apply everywhere. There's literally space. I feel like there's space for everyone. You just have to apply. The problem is that your name has to be on the list. And the first thing you have to do is to put your name on the list. I have a friend who worked at a gas station next to the UN office of Geneva. One day, he said that he saw a guy coming in, rushing in. That was one of the delegates of the Albanian mission. So the embassy of Albania here in Geneva. And the guy saw him. They're talking, oh, what are you doing? And, oh, I'm just a delegate at the mission and everything. And, oh, okay. Do you take interns? So it's genuine question. Said, oh, okay, do you want to do an internship? Yeah, we could see. And he gave him his cards. And that's how, not that's how, but he applies. He sent an email, his CV. He lives in a city next to France. And he doesn't have any background in international relations or politics. All he did was study economy, did a master, I think, in, what was it? I think in economy still, but he only studied economy, but he saw an opportunity and he took it. And he had an internship for 9 months with that mission because he saw a delegate at a gas station buying cigarettes and he decided to talk to him because he had the little flag of Albania. So that's how you recognize diplomats here. And yeah, he just put his name on the list. They saw his face and he went through. And yeah, that's what I would recommend to anyone who really wants to do anything diplomatic wise, is that you have to be seen. You have to put yourself out there. Do not be scared at all. I don't want to say that I started from ground zero, but I actually started from ground -10. So if I can do it, obviously anyone can do it. And yeah, that's what I would say. There's so many opportunities, especially on LinkedIn. And I think people tend to believe that there's only one way to get into the UN, where there's more than 20 to 25 agencies. All of them are looking for people to work short term, especially in an area where there's only project now, like not long-term project, but short-term project. They are open for interns and consultants all over the place. So I think this is a perfect area for now people to get that extra visibility and experience. So yeah, apply.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank you
you
so
and your
much,
hard work.
guys. No, thanks
We're
to you
happy that
guys.
you came on. We're appreciative, like so much. I'm so extremely proud to call you a friend.
Thank you
And,
so much, guys.
keep changing the world, I guess. Come to London
Guys,
occasionally.
we're gonna make it out of the.
See you in Paris.
Thank you so much, guys.
We
A
need to
pleasure
make it
to,
to Paris.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will. It was a pleasure to be invited on the desk. And
Of
cannot wait to
course.
see you guys having more interesting guests and let people shine and tell their stories.
Try it. We will definitely try our best to.
Wow. This is the end of the desk. Thanks for pulling up a chair, and we'll see you guys next time. Once again, thank you, JC, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye.